Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video here. Today's a video that I have been wanting to do since, I think I asked you guys like the end of August if you'd be interested in watching something like this, and I got a pretty resounding yes. So that's what we're doing. It took me a while to get some of the stuff and then sit down and swatch all of the stuff, so that's why you're only just now getting it. But I assure you it is definitely worth the wait. So if you saw the title, you know that we are reviewing almost every single nail polish that Clionadh Cosmetics has made. And along with that, I want this to not only be a swatch and review, but kind of a first impressions and overview of the brand itself as well, because actually this is my first time ever purchasing from Clionadh Cosmetics. I've known about them for several years just because I used to watch a lot of makeup content. Not that you can tell because I couldn't even match my blush to my eye look, but I really liked knowing about makeup, and I never really bought indie makeup, but I liked watching videos about indie makeup because indie makeup, a little bit pricey. We know indies are expensive for a reason, but I just, at the time when I was still buying a lot of makeup, I just couldn't justify buying indie makeup. But I had heard about Clionadh Cosmetics because they have this line of like these intensive multi-chrome eyeshadows called the Stained Glass collection, I believe. And so I think it was earlier this year, or maybe end of last year, but I think it was this year, when I heard that they were coming out with nail polish for the first time. I was super intrigued, but for some reason I just didn't buy them. And then finally, I got around to it, and I ended up picking up a lot of other stuff as well. So first of all, Clionadh Cosmetics is based out of Canada. They are vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, talc-free, and 10-free as far as their nail polish goes. So a lot of stuff free. Their nail polishes are 11.5 milliliters or 0.39 fluid ounces for me and mine over here in the States. And they fluctuate in price specifically due to, I'd imagine, the exchange rate between the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. That being said though, it seems like creams are right around the $10 US dollar price point, and other finishes are just a little bit more than the $10 US dollar price point, which I would argue is really good for indie polishes. I know that these bottles are on the like smaller end. I would consider, in my opinion, 11 milliliter bottles are the smallest you can be before I start considering you a mini at that point. But plenty of brands that I know and love, they do 11 milliliter bottles, and these are 11.5, so you get a little extra. So I think the pricing on these is really good, especially considering some of the finishes that I'm about to show you. And I will tell you what I paid at the time of purchase because it has changed a little bit now on the website, but you'll be able to kind of compare and contrast. Shipping to the US is a little bit on the pricey side. I think I averaged, I've made 3 purchases from them now. Whoops. I think I've averaged around $13 for shipping, but personally, I don't feel like I can complain about that because our friends up in Canada pay like $2 million to import anything from the US. So if I'm only paying $13, I better just shut my mouth and be happy about it. I don't love paying for shipping because I am spoiled and I'm used to like free shipping thresholds and stuff like that. But honestly, I didn't bat an eye paying $13 for shipping for any of these shipments because once I got the product in hand, it like blew my standards away. I was so excited about these. So the turnaround time at Clionadh Cosmetics can vary pretty dramatically, I would say, but that is not something that is a secret. Ever since I first heard of this brand back when they were only doing makeup, I've always heard like Clionadh Cosmetics has a really intensely long turnaround time. And I think that they hand make everything in-house, and I don't think their team is very big, which would explain why that is. So going into it, I expected a pretty long turnaround time, and their website even tells you like expected turnaround times. They're very transparent about it. So I purchased the first collection that I got, which was 12 polishes, and then I added 2 more in. And that took 3 to 4 weeks to get to me. And I think that was because they were having like a high volume outgoing. And so it took quite a while for those. And I was like getting kind of antsy about it. And then I placed a second order and I was fully prepared for it to take another like near month. I got it in like a week because their high volume was done and it came really quickly. I got something from Polish Pickup from them and, you know, that was the normal Polish Pickup turnaround time. And then I placed another order recently on October 4th, I believe, and that was their Halloween trio. And I got it a couple days ago, which would come out to roughly a week's turnaround time. So honestly, their turnaround time is not nearly as bad as I had expected it to be. It's only backed up, I think, during big launches and things like that. And they are fully transparent, at least from what I've seen in the 3 orders that I've made directly from them. And so it's really nothing that I was concerned about. And then one last thing before I get into the full swatch and review. Just the bottles themselves. I like the bottles. I think they're really cutesy. I think they're really pretty. I got them and I was like, I could really see if you had like a really curated vanity, really cute with like a perfume tray and your little like hand mirror sitting out, just a couple of these kind of displayed up there would look so precious and cute. Obviously, I am not a minimalist in any sense of the word. I have crap everywhere. And so displaying a couple of these would just, you know, add clutter to my life. That's why I like to keep my polish mostly in drawers. But these definitely would make for super cutesy display pieces. And I really like that the logo on the front, it is multi-chrome as well, which really is on brand for them because they are really known for their multi-chromes. So I thought that was cool as well. And typically, I'm not a big rose gold cap person or gold cap person. I like a plain black cap or in some cases a plain white cap, depending. But there's something about the way that this bottle is cut, kind of like a jewel. Like it's got like kind of a jewel gemstone cut to it that paired with the rose gold, I feel like it looks really elegant. So I do like the bottle that they chose. So with all that said, I'm going to cut over to my live swatches and show you the full hand swatches on just about everything I have here. And then afterwards, I'll give you a little bit more detail on the individual polishes and collections themselves, just so you can get some insight and maybe decide if you do want any of these, which ones are right for you. Okay, so we're gonna start with the Dragon Fruit Lacquers, and this is a duo. This is the first one they came out with. So the first one is called Pitaya. Don't mind my cracked nails, they won't be a problem later on. But this one, according to their website, is a semi-opaque multi-chrome nail polish with a strawberry pink base and a bright green teal indigo shifts. It says 2 to 3 coats for full opacity. I found that with 2, I almost was there at this nail length. So if you have shorter nails, you'll definitely only need 2. You can barely see my nail line in these photos. I think it looks pretty good. Then we have Dragon Teeny, and this is the much sheerer of the duo. It is a sheer pink multi-chrome nail polish with intense gold, lime, turquoise shifts. It says it can be used as a topper or built up on its own, and depending on your desired effect, 1 to 3 coats. I did 2 in this video, and you can definitely see my nail line and all the nasty cracks in my nails. But I think that it still looks good if you like a sheerer polish, but if I did 3 coats, I think I would have been much better off with visible nail line. Next, we're going to talk about the Retro Essentials collection, and this is a 12-piece collection. It consists of 11 creams and 1 holographic topper, and since it is 11 creams and they are pretty consistent in formula, I will just tell you overall, like, these are predominantly very opaque. You can see on my nail length, this red is covering almost entirely in 1 coat. They go on very smoothly, save for one, which we will get to. This one is called Gumball, by the way. They all have very, like, nostalgic names. And I will show you swatches of every single polish, plus with the topper. Since, like I said, they all have really similar formulas, I just kind of wanted to talk about the overall brand a little bit here. So you can see the brushes are the same in every polish, no matter what the formula is so far. It's kind of a medium width, flatter edged brush. It's pretty easy to work with at any nail length. I would say this is like the perfect middle ground for a brush of any type here. And I tried to get very color accurate photos. So I always try to get color accurate photos. But the problem with these is when I put that topper on, it really affected the way the camera was picking up the pictures. And that topper is just really dense, really packed with that silver hollow. And so it does end up making them look just a tad darker in the photos and in real life. It's just, I think, the nature of the way the color plays tricks on your eyes. But I would say that my photos of this collection are pretty color accurate to what you see in real life. Now this polish is a little bit strange. You can kind of see a shimmer running through it. It's the only one of the creams that has that, just the yellow. And I talk about this in the end as well. You can't really see it in the swatch photos at all, only when the polish is wet and like on application. And again, it's barely there. It's like the slightest shimmer. And I've seen this in other really light colored polishes from other brands where they put it in there and it doesn't appear on the nail when it's dry. I don't know why they do that. I'm not sure if it's supposed to help with opacity or something like this, but this is a stunning yellow. Here we have Solitaire. This one reminds me of my grandma because she plays solitaire on her phone so much that it's literally burned into her phone screen. But yeah, this is, again, same formula, same easy application, almost all one coaters, I would say, even on this nail length, which is pretty astounding. I wanted to say this is something I didn't notice until after I was done filming, and this pertains to the bottles itself. So on the back of every bottle, there is a sticker label that tells you the name of the polish and just has like some of the information. And I noticed it rubs off really easily off of the sticker. The ink was transferring to my hands. And at first I thought, oh, do I have like acetone on my hands or something like that? So I went and I washed my hands and I picked up a different bottle that had a fresh sticker and I kind of rubbed it lightly with my thumb and the ink came directly off onto my thumb on freshly washed hands. No oils, no nothing. So I think that the sticker on the back is kind of an issue. It's kind of annoying. Other than that, I have no issue with their bottles themselves, but that was kind of frustrating that these are brand new and the ink is coming directly off the bottles and onto my hands. Luckily, even though it says the polish name on the back, they also have a sticker on the bottom that is made of a different kind of like papery material, and that also has the name and everything, so nothing to worry about there. But it was just a little bit like, really? Like, really? But it's like I said, not the end of the world. And then this is bell bottoms. There are a couple blues in this collection. There was the teal before. This is bell bottom, and then pinball, which is kind of that in between, that blue purple, that forbidden word, that indigo, if you will. And I really like this color. It kind of reminded me of Indigo Away from Holo Taco, but just a touch lighter, because Indigo Away, to me, like when I see it, it's almost too dark to read as anything other than black in certain lightings, but this one I feel like is just a touch lighter than that. So I liked this one, and the darker polishes tend to look a little bit better with the topper on them. Here is a purple. This one's called Scrunchy. I actually don't totally love this type of purple, so this one wasn't my favorite, even though I do love a purple. And this one is a little bit on the thinner side on that first coat, but this is not the one I was talking about at the beginning. You'll know it when you see it. This one specifically reminds me of Barney. It's like the perfect Barney purple in my head. I don't know. I loved Barney as a kid. So, but it, like you can see in that second coat, the coverage does build up and it looks cute with that topper. They all look pretty good with a topper. But here we have liquid paper, and this is the only one where I was just kind of like, ooh, I would rather not. And it was a very, very streaky experience. It was a very thin application, yet like thicker in some places where I was just trying to get it to balance out and even out, but I did struggle with this. On the second coat here, you can see it's definitely opaque, and that's because I used a much thicker coat on the second coat. In the swatch photos, that is a 3-coat picture. This is only 2 coats here with thick coats, but this here, that's 3 full coats for full opacity. And then the last cream in this collection is the black. It is called VHS, and it is, it's not like the most killer black. Like, it's nice, it's fine. But I have black polishes that I would definitely reach for before this one, just because they are easy one coaters, tried and true. This one is definitely a one coater, but it does like dry down a little bit thinner looking. And I don't know if it's just because my nails are pretty beat up, but, and then you can see I put the gel pen topper over this. I just wanted to show you the application. Very easy, very smooth, same type of brush. And it looks like a sparkling night sky. It looks really, really pretty here. Then we have Lineage, and this is the one that I got in that mystery bundle. It came with like 5 eyeshadows and then this polish, and I believe it's the only way you can get it. And oh my gosh, this is sheer. I put on that first coat and I was like, oh no, because my nails are just so busted, and I was like, this is not gonna look good. But I thought maybe it'll build up in 2 coats, and it built up just a little bit. I should have put 3 just to see what it would look like, but it definitely still would have had visible nail line for me, because you can see it clear as day. I think this would work better as a topper. This is the first polish pickup shade from September 2022. I haven't received the other one yet, but I did order it. This one, it is another one of those where it's really sheer on that first coat because it's got more of a jellyish base. It's like a dark blue or like deep indigo kind of jelly. And it's just loaded with all these fun, like reflective, colorful glitters and flakes and like hollow glitter in there. It was one that photographed on the site I didn't really think too much about, but in real life I was like, man, look at that shimmer. And then the final thing I have is their Halloween trio, which just released on October 4th. And the first polish is called Paranormal Goo. I loved this on the website, and I really do like it in hand. The only problem I have with this is it looks really yellow in real life, like once you've painted it on the nail. Whereas in the bottle, it looks more chartreuse, which is how they describe it on the website. It's a jelly chartreuse with orange to lime shifting shimmer. And it photographs yellow. It looks kind of yellow. And so I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I still really like this color. Then we have Headless Horseman, and this is a copper to peach to gold multichrome. And this has a lot of holographic micro glitter. And it says it has a light reflective blue silver glitter. This one is very thick for me. I am not sure if anybody else got this, if yours is also pretty thick. I think it's just because of the amount of glitter in it. So it's not hard to work with. I just wasn't expecting that thickness because none of the other polishes were as thick as this. However, like, it looks really pretty. I think though it will be difficult to remove if you don't use a peely base, because I could feel the grittiness just applying it, but I tried to get a couple angles for you here. And then we have Ritual, and this one, I didn't know if I was going to like it or not because of the color, but I didn't realize like the flakes in it. I didn't look too hard at these. I'm going to be honest. I just bought them like on a hope and a prayer, and I didn't realize these little flakes were in there. And there's something about that. I love these little colorful, like you can see like the purple and the orange and the yellow. It just looks so cool. And it says it's a wine colored base with holographic shimmer and rainbow iridescent flakes. I think the yellow one is still my favorite because that's the one I kind of held out for. But this is like a close second. Like, look at those little flakes. They really do pack a punch up close. Okay, I hope I didn't bore you guys with the billion swatches. Let's go like collection by collection or release by release and just talk a little bit about each one. So the first release they had was this Dragon Fruit Duo, and this came out in like a larger collection. They did a collaboration with somebody named Emily Violet Marie. I don't know who that is, but I guess she really likes dragon fruit. And they did like a whole collab, and that was the first time I'd heard about Clionadh nail polish. And I do believe that these are the first ones they did come out with. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time I'd really seen anybody talk about them. So for these formulas, we have Pitaya and Dragantini. And these on camera, they look pretty similar. One just looks a little bit darker than the other. And I think that was really what put me off from buying them at the beginning, because I was like, they look a little bit similar. And they are on the sheerer side. And especially when these came out, I still just wasn't super big into sheer polishes. Now I found a place for them in my heart, but before I wasn't super into that. But they did, I find, build up pretty decently. I would say visible nail line is still there, but if you have shorter nails, it's really not as noticeable. And with longer nails, you kind of make it a look, you know, you're like, this is my aesthetic. And this formula did remind me of the Holo Taco light multi-chromes. And, you know, I guess there is kind of like a duochrome or like a multi-chrome shift in these and the Holo Taco ones. But to me, I just read them more as like a really strong shimmer. And I think that's just kind of like personal perception. And like I said, these two, their initial release, they do look a little bit similar. One is a little bit peachy over here. And then this one reads a little bit more purple. If I was not the way that I am, I would have felt comfortable just getting one. I think normal people would get one and they would say, okay, that's enough. I only need one. I'm not that person. I need them all. So I did buy both of them. But I will say, like, you probably really can choose one and you'd be satisfied. When you read the description on the website for these two, it does state that Dragon Teeny can be worn as a topper, but honestly, I think they both could. If you put like a similar base color underneath, this would really elevate it. And I think that a lot of the Clionadh shades in these light multi-chromes or, you know, these shimmery kind of tones, I think that they would be really good for toppers or even on their own in 2 to 3 coats. And I guess I should say from their initial launch, my favorite is Pitaya. I just prefer like the more purpley tones. I find that peachy tones, while I think they're pretty, they don't look as good just with my skin color. And my like undertones, they just read a little bit funny. But I have them both and I love them. So in addition to those dragon fruit lacquers, I did add the Retro Essentials collection to my cart. That is their first big collection that they've done, and it is a 12-piece collection consisting of 11 creams and 1 hollow topper. And for that particular collection, I paid $117.12. So basically $120 for 12 indie polishes. That's like 10 bucks a polish. Pretty good. Now, their website stated that for the first 30 days, they were going to be donating 100% of the profits to 2 separate charitable organizations. One was called the Rainbow Railroad, and the other was the Native Women's Resource Center of Toronto, or the NWRCT. Now, like I said, initially they said for the first 30 days, they were going to donate 100% of the profits, but on their website, it does now state that they decided to extend that and donate all of the profits until that collection is sold out, which I thought was pretty admirable, and I really respect that they did that. I don't know if they're going to then restock the Retro Essentials collection. I hope they do. It's a good, solid base collection for them to have as like a permanent staple. So maybe it's just like after that first restock, they won't continue that donation, but still pretty cool that for the first run, everything profit-wise was donated. So even though I did buy this, my initial thoughts were like, it's a little plain for an indie brand to have 11 creams in a topper, you know? But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, actually, this is really smart to get kind of like their core cream line just out there and out of the way if in fact this is their core cream line. Because it's a really solid run of colors. We have a really good rainbow here. Like, you've got your staple black and white, and then just, you know, tons and tons of colors here to play with. And my thought was, you know, if they're going to keep doing kind of sheer multi-chrome or like multi-chrome light type polishes, then it would be smart. Like, I look at this and I'm like, this could definitely be a good base for either of these to do some layering with if you're into toppers and layering and things like that. So at first I was like, I don't know, did we really need this? And then I thought, well, as far as looking at that brand in kind of a vacuum, it was smart of them to have that base, you know? Overall, I felt like the creams were pretty pigmented and pretty opaque. The only one I struggled with was the white. I think that it was, you know, nothing exciting. I feel like there are other brands that do better white polishes, but I bought the collection as a whole, so, you know, I have this one. And then one thing I noticed about the yellow is I swear there's like the slightest shimmer running through this polish, and I don't know why, because I don't see it in any of the other colors, just the yellow. So I'm not sure if it's there to help with formulation or something like that, because yellows are notoriously sheer and notoriously hard to get opaque fast. So I don't know if maybe like that shimmer helps with opacity. I'm making this up. I really don't know. If somebody else knows, please let me know. And then of course, out of the Retro Essentials collection, if I had to choose a favorite, I would pick this one. It's called Game Console, and this does remind me of like the old Game Boy Colors. If I had to choose a favorite from just specifically the Retro Essentials collection, I think it would definitely be Game Console, because to me this one is just like, it's literally spot on. It's my game console, my little Game Boy Color. Actually, this is not the original Game Boy Color I had. My grandma bought me my first Game Boy Color. And she got me the pink one, which, if you knew me when I was a kid, like, I wanted to die if I had to touch anything pink. I wanted the clear one where you could see all the electronics inside, because that's like the 90s hold. But I later on bought a couple more Game Boys. Got a few here. And it just, this color, straight up, it's like, I want to be like, oh, it's the exact same, but you guys can literally see I'm lying. It looks really close in person. So I just felt like this one was pretty cool. It's definitely gonna stain my nails because everything teal stains me just when I look at it, but I don't care about stained nails. I would just say that if you do, maybe double up on base coat or something. And as far as like the scattered hollow topper goes, this one's called Gel Pen. What a cute name. I typically would not buy something like this, but it was part of the whole collection bundle, and so, you know, I got it. I did just like get done saying in my Starly video, if you have one hollow scattered topper, you really don't need that many. It's hard to discern a difference. I will say this one is a little bit more dense than the other ones I have, because I have some that are a lot more scattered. So this is a nice addition to my collection, but it wasn't something that I felt compelled to have. So definitely kind of, this is like a take or leave for me because I have so much, but if you don't have anything like this, it would be a nice addition to your collection. Okay, and then I made another order to Clionadh Cosmetics. This was my second order overall. And I made this order before the first order had even arrived because this was how sure I was about this brand. I was like, I know it's gonna be good. I heard over on Reddit that there was a mystery bundle of eyeshadows and you could select to add a mystery polish as well. And I was like, I have always wanted to try their eyeshadows, and this is a really thinly veiled excuse to get that last polish, but I did it. And I'm wearing their eyeshadow today, and I love it. I got the mystery polish as well, and so I don't think that this bundle is available anymore, but I just want to warn you guys, I am going to show you that polish. So here it is. It is called Lineage, and it is a green shimmery polish. This one is much sheerer than the other polishes I showed you earlier, the dragon fruit lacquers. I think this is fully exclusive to their mystery bundles, and I am not sure if there are other polishes you could have gotten, because the person who I saw on Reddit, this is the same polish they got. But if you know more about any other mystery bundle polishes, I would love to know, because I want them and I need to know what to put as an ISO out on the Facebook groups. Definitely I like greens, you guys know that, but this one was very sheer. So if you're not into that, you probably would not like this one. It would make for pretty fun topper combo here. So I'm not mad at it. I like it. It's got kind of a pink shimmery flip to it. And like I said, I did get 5 mystery eyeshadows as well. And I'll swatch them for you real quick. I don't know how many of you guys actually care about makeup versus just nail polish, so I'll make that part quick. So from top to bottom, we have Flagstone, Ciel, Regal, Grisai, which is what I have on my eyes in this video, and Rayonnant, and they are just super pretty. It's really hard to capture on camera for me, something like that. I'm not talented in that manner, but if you really like makeup, if you like really fun colors, or you want to touch your toes into something like that, definitely very easy to work with. And I can't remember if I said, but that bundle for 5 eyeshadows plus the 1 polish was $51.52 USD. So Clionadh Cosmetics has also joined in on polish pickup. They have already released 2 polishes. I have purchased them both. One is from this month's polish pickup, so I won't get it till much later. But last month in September, oh no, I'm covered in glitter. In September for the Halloween month, they did Hitchhiking Ghosts. It's pretty dark on camera, but in real life, it's this deep royal blue that shifts kind of like green, and we have some like reddy pinks in there. And I was really impressed with this. I was like, when I saw the swatch, I was like, yeah, it looks fine. And I'm doing that thing right now where I'm like, I have to own everything by this one brand. And so I bought it anyways, despite being kind of like on the fence about it. But it in person looks way better than what I saw on the computer screen. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, it's just like you don't have the right lighting, or it's just not the right angle. Even though the swatch photos are great, it's just like, it's not playing to my likes and my enjoyment. But once I got this home and I swatched it out, I was like, okay, yeah, that was a good choice. And this one cost $13 on polish pickup. And then the one that is for this month, it's called Pegasus. And if I remember correctly, it's like a tealish base with black shards in it. And that one was only $12. And then finally, they released on October 4th, which is why the nail length is going to look a little bit different in my video because I had chopped off all my nails at that point. But they did release a Halloween trio, and I was kind of surprised. I didn't expect them to do that, but they did it. And the thing that I really liked about this is all 3 of the polishes are different finishes. And so what that's showing me is this brand, as far as like their nail polish line goes, it's very young, but they already know like they're branching out, they're trying a lot of different finishes, and they're playing to their strengths in the multi-chrome or like shifty shimmery area. I hope that's what they continue to push for. I don't think they need to do any more creams, or if they do them very scattered, because like this is what I'm looking for from Clionadh Cosmetics. So we have Paranormal Goo, which is this kind of grossy yellow-green, and it's got like chunky glitters in there. And then we have Brutal, which is like a more magenta, and it's got like iridescent flakies from the looks of it. And then we have Headless Horseman, and this is more just like a true multi-chrome, and it's got some holographic glitter running through there as well. And out of the 3 of these, for the color alone, I really like Paranormal Goo. I just think that this trio was a great idea, a really fun addition, and a really good way to just show us like, hey, this is what we're going to keep on doing. This is the range we have. We are not stopping short here. And I just love that. I don't know. I'm really excited to see what else they come up with. As Hannah Louise Poston often says, I am following their career with great interest. I'm also buying everything they're putting out, so maybe I'm not like Hannah Louise Poston at all. But yeah, so really excited to see what they do next. I wonder if they'll do anything for the holidays. I'm sure they will, considering it seems like they're kind of ramping up now. But yeah, I'm really excited to see more from them, and I will, more likely than not, buy more eyeshadows from them as well, because they are really nice. They are, this is why I didn't buy them initially, because I knew the second I bought one, I was going to like it so much that I was going to want to buy more. And people have huge collections, like huge Z palettes of these, just like so tightly packed. And it literally looks like a stained glass window. They are so beautiful. But yeah, that is going to be it from me. Let me know down below if you have any additional questions about the brand or these polishes or anything that I didn't cover in this video. Let me know if you tried them before, whether it be their eyeshadows or their nail polish, and definitely let me know if there's any other mystery polishes aside from this green one called Lineage, because I want it. Okay, thank you. But yeah, like I said, that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.